towards solutions. We will also help you to understand how stress builds up and the importance of using countermeasures in order to relieve this build-up and prevent it becoming overwhelming or incapacitating. We outline the way in which stress becomes an issue in the first place and help you to identify and detect early signs so that you are in a position to prevent the escalation of stress. We also describe methods by which you can cope with and finally overcome stress. We will show you how to select and practice the techniques most likely to help you successfully overcome stress in your life. The problem of stress. Stress has a serious impact on the physical and psychological well-being of a substantial proportion of the adult population. A recent 2012 Mental Health Foundation survey found that 47% of people feel stressed every day or every few days, and 59% feel that their lives are more stressful than they were 5 years ago. It is far more complicated and arguably less precise to measure stress than to measure, say, body temperature or blood pressure. The reason for this is that with stress, subjectivity, a personal tolerance effect, enters the equation. All of us know people who thrive on high levels of stress and appear to do well when under pressure. Indeed, they may actually underperform when they are not functioning under stress. For others, the complete opposite may apply. For such people, situations which most people tolerate with relative ease, such as leaving home to go shopping, may present overwhelming levels of stress. Whatever levels of stress you may be experiencing, it is unhelpful and arguably wrong for others to judge whether the stress you are suffering is acceptable or unacceptable, good or bad, and whether your stress is intense or mild. Only you and/or a professional counsellor can make this decision. Stress is generally considered unwelcome, even if we do thrive on it in the short term. It's easy to see that too much stress can have a negative impact on our physical health and on our work and personal lives. Prolonged episodes of stress can lead to inflammation in parts of the body and susceptibility to infection. Prolonged stress also increases our risk of experiencing more serious and debilitating psychological conditions, such as chronic anxiety, panic attacks, and depression. And serious physical health problems such as coronary heart disease, high blood pressure, gastric conditions, including irritable bowel syndrome, and even diabetes. For the most part, however, you will probably be very glad to know stress is preventable, manageable, and treatable. Of course, there are situations, whether personal or work-related, where part of the reason we are experiencing stress is because we feel powerless to change the circumstances in which we find ourselves. For example, if we fear losing a job, in the current economic climate, we are more likely to be very sensitive and responsive to the hints and expectations of a boss to work longer hours or take on extra tasks with no extra benefits. Understanding the conditions in which we find ourselves, even though we're unable to change some or all of the aspects of a situation, can help us to cope better with the stress the situation is causing for us. There are very likely to be things we can do in order to alleviate some of the stress in our working day. In our experience, and from the research which has been published on the subject of coping with stress, there is consensus that everyone should be able to do something to reduce stress in their lives, provided they have properly understood its source and cause, and what is maintaining it, using modern psychological methods. What is different about this book? There have been numerous books published on coping with stress, so why have we written another one? Well, there are several reasons, and a number of ways in which you might find this book different. First, the book brings together the latest proven methods for overcoming stress, methods which have been tried and tested with real patients in a professional clinical setting. These are methods our patients have used successfully to overcome their stress. We also provide you with techniques which are unique and specific to you, and which will help you to find your particular key to unlocking your understanding of your stress, and so help you to prevent